Hey guys, Dave and Skidge here. Grab your favorite laser gun, put on your Sunday best, and get ready to follow us back down the rabbit hole. Hey guys, here at Intangible Adventures, we like to call it a safe space. So let's all be honest with ourselves real quick. We've all thought about or done some freaky shit in the bedroom.
I have.
Yeah, it's part of life. We've definitely entertained it. Dave, I know you have.
Variety is the spice of life.
Well said. Maybe your thing is getting urinated on. Maybe it's having the shit beat out of you. Maybe it's something as vanilla as being chained to the bed. But who hasn't been there, right? But sexuality and kinkiness in general are a very taboo thing in American society. We all just pretend it's not there. Or at least we try to. All right, folks, let's all hop into the old time machine real quick. We all know B. Franks, right? Benjamin Franklin. If you didn't know, he invented bifocals. He invented the clean burning stove. Oh, and he showed that lightning was electricity to the entire world for humanity. He was one of the guys who signed the important document, you might have heard of it, Declaration of Independence. Also, he's on that coveted $100 bill.
I bet what you didn't know was that old Benny loved the females. He was not shy to mix it up with old ladies with money. Or the occasional hooker here or there. And what about J. Edgar Hoover, the first director of the FBI? He was pretty notorious for his blatant blackmail of anyone who opposed him and abusing his position of authority within the Bureau. What you may not know about good old Hoove was that he was an extremely undercover homosexual, yet he was known to be fanatically homophobic in public. Then there was Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was a prominent French philosopher whose writings are a cornerstone of modern thought, whether you recognize it or not. He wrote The Social Contract, one of the most potent philosophical discourses on inequality of all time. But you know what? My boy Rousseau, he loved to slap around town. Supposedly, he used to hire women to spank him. So that begs the question, should having a certain private sexual preference or drug habit preclude you from getting a job even if you were hands down the very best person for that job? And remember, we've only used men as an example. What about women? Powerful and influential women. Deal makers, rainmakers, geniuses. How many have been ruined in past years because some societal taboo was unearthed about them? Well, today we've brought on the perfect guest to discuss these matters. Please put your hands together for our guest, Kaia.
When I was in New York City, I walked into the Steve Madden store, which is pretty awesome if you are a shoe fan. And I looked at these really amazing 6-inch patent red leather stilettos, and they were on sale, which was pretty fantastic, actually. So I bought them and I brought them home. And the first time that I wore them, I walked around my house while this lovely EMT stood outside listening to the sound that they clickety-clacked against the wood floors in my house. And when he walked in, he took all of his clothes off and he got on his knees. And I asked him to bend over a little bit so that I could dig the heel of my 6-inch brand new red patent leather Steve Madden stilettos into his nuts.
Whoa.
Oh,
wait, what, dude?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Yeah, what? Who are you?
My name is Kaia, and I work professionally for the Department of Defense, manage projects, some programs too, and I also am a dominatrix.
Goodness.
Wow.
Guys, welcome back to Intangible Adventures.
What an entrance. That was awesome.
Thank you. I do like a good entrance.
All right, Skid, Where should we begin?
Just like any great story, Dave, let's do it right at the beginning. Let's start right from the beginning.
Okay. Kaia, tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay. Wow, the very beginning?
Yeah, like where are you from?
I am from the great state in the horrible state of Florida.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
that it's swamp and then like beaches.
Yeah, that's pretty much 90% swamp, 10% beaches.
Okay.
And yeah,
It's like
uh,
swamp people or beautiful people.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
which one
are
do you
they
want?
though? Are they?
Or
Is that-
old people?
I mean, there's a lot of mullets, and so it's a
lot of bad haircuts,
It's a
yeah,
lot
in
of
Florida.
mullets, a lot of
Yeah,
mullets.
yeah.
And that's still true, even though it's in the 21st century.
Yeah, it's 2019. There's
a shitload of mullets.
There's people still rocking mullets.
No, and I mean like everyone. Yeah, and they
Yeah,
all
yeah.
drive F-150s, and they have MAGA hats, and it's a lot of it's exciting. It's
And
exciting.
cowboy boots too.
There's not as much as you think. There's more like open-toed sandals with socks.
Ooh.
There's a lot of that. It's very non.
Is there anything worse than that?
Are you talking about the town specifically or the state of Florida?
Just literally the whole state.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
just
yeah,
described like the entire state
All right,
of
so
Florida.
where-
Not southern Florida because that's basically Cuba, but yes,
Yeah.
the rest of it, and not the Panhandle because that's Alabama. But everything else, Florida.
Yeah. So where are you from?
I'm
Florida?
from Central Florida, so the
Okay.
middle part, which is like a combination between every single theme park you've ever thought about visiting and every single horrible decision you've ever made as an adult.
existing in like a region of a land.
Yes, it's basically,
In the
and it
southern part
exists
of
in
this
this
country.
really beautiful sort of dichotomy that also like simultaneously just works with each other for no good
Yeah,
goddamn reason
okay.
that anyone can
Yeah.
understand. I'm come from the town that was responsible for hosting the Adult Video Awards for like 20 years.
The AVN Awards or whatever?
Yes, oh
Yeah.
my god, look at you, so educated.
The AVN Awards.
Yeah, I come from a town that strip clubs are put on the like 4-lane highway between like the PetSmart and the Target.
Yeah.
And there's just like, obviously you go to the strip club.
Are there big signs on the
Oh, yeah,
highways? and
huge
shit?
ones.
Yeah.
There's one that has a spaceship, like a legitimate spaceship. It's
All
impressive.
right, so that's where.
That's where we're.
That's where you're from.
That's where I'm
All
from.
right, excellent.
It's an interesting little town.
All right. So,
I-
what's the path from there to being in the DoD?
Yeah,
Just give us a little highlight.
So
Highlights.
I taught high school and college for a long time, and I loved it. But when I moved to the DMV area, it wasn't that great. I actually enjoyed teaching in Florida better, which is funny when you think about it. Seriously.
Sure.
And I decided to take a summer off, and I ended up working for an IT company. And
Through
and
a,
I worked
through a temp job, right?
Yes, through a temp job. I
Who
took a
would've
temp
thought?
job, but it's to no one.
Yeah.
Not me. I certainly
Definitely.
fucking didn't.
Really?
Yeah, God no. I thought that
You
I'd
would-
find some job for like a minute and I'd be, like, oh, this is fine, and I'd get bored and I'd
Ooh,
move on
that's
to something
interesting.
else.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was gonna happen like
Just
that.
stumbled right into it.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It was great. It was an awesome gig, and I really loved who I worked for. Awesome guy. And then then I ended up working for DC government for a while. And then I ended up very randomly in the DoD. I worked for the Army first and then moved on.
What'd you do for the DC government?
Just a lot of emergency management type stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of management, program wise, project wise,
And
normal stuff.
that job, or was there a specific job that kind of got you into the DoD, or was
No, actually, I very randomly got an email from someone who I used to teach with. And she sent me an email and said, "Hey, I'm leaving this job with the Army. Do you want to take it?" I'm not kidding. That was literally the email. And
So
I
it's
went,
just like a transfer of
yeah, it was like,
responsibility.
sounds great. And so I quit my job at in DC and went to this job with the Army, and it was great. I loved it. It was good. It was
Were you
very
still living in the
educational.
DMV?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And you did similar work that you were doing with the DC government?
Yeah, pretty similar. Like just nothing too far fetched, but
Right.
it was great. I did that for a little while, and then that contract ended, and I got a phone call from a random recruiter who
There's
was
a
like,
common theme here. These random phone calls are a life changer.
People apparently want to talk to me
Yeah.
and change my life and give me lots of money.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Was
It's a good
the
feeling.
oh fuck contingency plan part of being part of when you went to the DoD or before?
So that was DC government.
So that was DC government. So you didn't just get because I know about this.
Yeah.
So you didn't just get randomly.
Let's rewind.
You didn't get just randomly called. You're a very competent individual professionally, and so for someone to just say, "Hey, do you want this job?" They obviously staked their reputation on you assuming their position.
The funniest thing about it is that I got the phone call from the recruiter, and she told me that the job was going to be like kind of farther away, like a couple hours away. And I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't do that." She called me the next day and said, "How about like 15 minutes from your house?" And I went, "Is this the same job?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I went, okay. I didn't find out until later. I insisted on having an interview with the people who hired me. They wanted to hire me sight unseen just based on my resume.
Wow. Just based on that level of trust.
I have a terrifying resume. There's no other word for it. It's pretty scary. I'm scared of it.
Scary meaning
I did
substantial, like
quite.
Is it like a
your
drug
credentials.
dealer's rap list?
Yeah.
Rap sheet?
Yeah, I'm basically just a cartel member. That's what I'm saying.
You're the cartel of the DC government.
There you go. Yeah, of like government jobs.
But by
no.
yourself.
Right. I mean, that's
you're in an entire cartel.
She's
You're
like
very
a kingpin. And
Yeah.
they're like, no, don't fuck with Kaia. They're like, no,
hold on.
That's her department.
No. She's not even a kingpin. She's like above the kingpin. You know what I mean? Like you're
more
like
if there were any rules to be made, I would be the one making them.
wow.
I mean, that's just my life, though. That's
Oh,
like
God.
I was very lucky. I
So
worked
you're
with great
clearly
people.
very good at what you do.
Thank you.
So-
I try to be. Yeah.
Okay.
So can you
tried to
talk
be.
a little bit about that fuck contingency plan that kind of got you?
I can't actually.
Okay.
I can't talk a whole lot about it, but this, I worked very closely, very big on the sort of if something goes wrong, in the District of Columbia, what do we do? Like I was a big part of that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you did this?
26, 27.
You were part of an
Yeah.
oh fuck plan.
Yeah,
if something were to
was.
happen
I
to
was, yeah.
DC, where the president lives,
I
and you were
mean-
26 years old.
Well, somebody had to do it.
That's reserved for people twice your age.
Well, thank
Literally.
you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I like to think that I'm just really old and I look really good still, so that works for me.
I mean,
Well,
you
there
do
you
still
go.
look really good, but
my
I mean, like,
Dave with the charm,
I know,
dude.
right?
Dave,
You see
Stop it,
this?
Dave.
Stop it,
Dave is
Steven.
good, dude.
across the table.
No, that's
Yeah.
it's a good job. I like it. Keep it up. No, keep
So-
doing it.
Yeah.
What are some of the weirder like jobs and titles that you have held? Not necessarily like I feel like you've worn many hats.
I have actually, yeah. My first job was selling motivational posters. I can't make that up.
But hey, you're probably good at it.
I was
You were probably good at it.
marginal at it. I
Marginal. She said marginal.
I didn't
You don't have to be objective.
No, truly, I was because I didn't care at all. But I did have sex a lot at that job.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I was like 16 when I had that job, and it was like one of those kiosks in the mall,
Mm.
and I had sex quite a few times in the kiosk in
wow.
the middle of the mall. Yeah,
Oh.
With people still streaming past? Or...
yeah,
What?
definitely.
Wait, what?
I've,
Wait, like in
look,
the wide.
I'm very.
Hold on,
I've
like
been
right
very-
in the wide open.
There were like little sort of walls, kind of a little bit.
But
I mean,
if somebody walked by, they could see
marginally.
you.
Well, if they looked,
If
yeah.
they looked inside the
yeah, if they
kiosk.
paid any
You
attention.
definitely got an
and
adrenaline
yeah.
rush from that, didn't you?
I don't even think it was that. I've never been one of those people who's very shy about that kind
Yeah,
of stuff
okay.
ever. Like
Fair
even
enough.
in high school, and I just didn't.
And this will all
understand
make
what
sense
people were.
soon. Yeah.
Yes, the mystery that is me. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, jeez, man, I was terrible when I was a teenager. I had sex wherever I felt like having it. It didn't matter what it was. I mean, picnic tables, park benches, national forests, state forests, at people's jobs, McDonald's once, like behind the counter.
There's also a story that you briefly told me on. I'm going to give it a title: 30 Dates in 30 Days.
Oh my god!
That's-
Briefly, just go over
Oh
that.
my god! Yeah.
Into the climax
So
of that.
no, please. Yeah, I love that you keep using the word climax.
Yeah.
Once again, fitting.
Yeah, no, extremely
Fitting for this episode.
extremely
David
appropriate.
with the puns.
Oh,
Puns and-
David. I don't even think that's a pun. I think it's a downright just throwing it the
Yeah.
fuck out there.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's not a
Don't
pun.
try to sugarcoat it. Yeah.
Is that what's called a double entendre?
I don't even think it's called a double entendre. I think it's just saying the fuck what
Wait,
you mean.
what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, right. Because a double entendre is like, oh, that's a funny word that can be something else. You're like, no, climax though. I mean, climax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Climax.
you're pretty straight up
So,
you mean?
so 30 dates in 30 days.
30 dates in 30 days. I had gotten out of a long-term relationship, and I decided that a very good friend of mine at the time, gayest man I've ever known in my life, said, well, hey, you should get on Craigslist. And I was like, what the fuck is Craigslist? This was like 400 years ago, roughly. And
It's like advanced technology.
oh, it
at
was
the
like,
time.
what?
What's Craigslist? It's like it's a portal to anything you could ever imagine.
It's your
Sofas.
ticket to everything.
Yeah, it's your ticket to.
It really is. Sofas, having sex with
But
someone on said sofa.
But by the way, have
Craigslist
you looked at
sponsor us.
Craigslist? But by the way, have you looked at Craigslist nowadays?
No.
It's still the same setup.
Dude,
It
that
is?
old school ass
It's
setup.
the old school.
You know why they do that, right?
Why?
Why?
There's an intentional reason behind that. So, because I had the same thought you did. So,
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
okay, listen, my master's is in design, like IT related design. So for me, I had to know why it was that Craigslist has the same interface it's had since like 2004. And even when in 2004 that wasn't really used. So it's like, why the fuck are you doing like a 1992 version of the internet?
Yeah.
So the reason is because they are technically a not-for-profit. So they actually are a .org. And so I researched it, and there's like 2 people who started it, but they insist on it being free and that it's not for profit. Mm-hmm.
These people change the game without
right?
any monetary,
Isn't that crazy?
without any
it's
monetary
crazy.
goals.
It's
they just
totally
did it.
crazy. So there's a spot in Craigslist if you want to donate to Craigslist, you can do that.
I'm
because
sure
they
people
are-
do.
and they do, and they're because they're a not for profit. They're just like Wikipedia. It's the same idea.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
They ask you for money all the time. Though.
I
Oh,
give
yeah.
them money whenever they want. They can have
Wikipedia?
money whenever they want.
How
Yes.
much do you donate?
I don't know, like a couple $100 a year. At least
So-
like $300 to $500.
to Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Damn.
Couple hundred? I mean, that's pretty legit. Dude.
All right, so
I
that
mean,
was
they
one of
deserve
your
it.
weird jobs, the motivational.
Oh,
What's
right.
another one?
I mean, there's the whole teacher thing.
Teacher things, yeah.
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of
hold
teacher
on a
thing.
second. Hold on a
What?
second. We'll get back to the weird jobs.
Oh, all right.
30 dates in 30 days.
Oh,
Oh,
30
right,
days
right,
in 30
right.
days. Sorry. He is very distracting.
I know.
This one
I know.
right
Don't
here.
worry, guys. Don't worry,
Tyler
guys.
is
I'm
very
here.
distracting.
I'm
Thank you,
watching over
David.
it.
I'm
You're a
glad
little
you are
mess.
because I'm injured. I'm injured, so I can't be trusted.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too.
I'm injured and full of tequila. So there's So, 30 days and 30 days. So my good friend who, told me I should go on Craigslist. So I posted one ad on Craigslist. I had never done it before. I was like 22 or 23. And I got 570 responses to my ad
How quickly?
within about a day and a half.
Damn.
Yeah, it was insane. I had never been online
People are
dating.
thirsty on Craigslist.
No, it is not even thirsty. It's like Sahara level. Like,
Yeah,
it is,
like-
I
They
am
are
dying.
dying.
No, like you're about to.
Right,
You're about to
yeah.
cross over.
Like, right,
yeah.
at any moment, the light is going to come and take
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Like, literally. So,
All
yeah.
shapes and sizes.
Oh
too.
my God, every type of man you can think. I got at least 200 dick pics in that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
easily. I had never been exposed to anything like that before. It was this whole new universe that I just like threw myself into, and I would just laugh. I mean, I'd had sex with plenty of people at that point, but like
How old were you at this time?
22, 23, something
Okay.
like that. And it was just funny to look and be like, why do I have so many pictures of unsolicited wieners? That's
Yeah.
like I literally
So
had,
that
like,
was
a
like the
folder of
old
just
school
wiener
Snapchat.
pics. No, it was exactly yes, exactly. Totally.
The dick pic
So then you
Snapchat for
turned
the.
it into a speed dating extravaganza?
I did. So I had quite obviously 570 dudes, right? So quite a few of them wanted to meet me and go out with me. So I turned it into sort of inadvertently, but kind of not, into 30 dates in 30 days. It was in January, and I started on January 1st, and I went all the way through January 31st.
How many times do you have sex?
Oh, shit. That's a really good question. I'm really old, so I have to remember.
No.
So
Within
it's
that
like
30 days.
about 1,000 years ago. Probably at least 20 times, I would say. Yeah.
So 20 of those dates
Yeah,
led
sure.
led to sex?
I mean, it's
Okay.
just fucking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Tyler knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, she looked right
Tyler's-
into my eyes. dude.
Tyler's-
I got. Hey,
See it, dude.
I gotta
Tyler
put sunglasses on, man.
She can
She
see
catches me,
inside
man.
you.
She's sharp,
Just
dude.
saying, like,
She's
it's
sharp.
professional. It's a result of the
Well,
profession.
didn't one of those dates end in public sex, and that's why I was
It
talking about this?
did, yes.
Whoa.
Because she doesn't give a shit if she's doing like Euro shit
She
in America.
Yeah, that Euro
She
shit.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's raw.
She's
dude.
fucking in a kiosk, dude. That's some bullshit.
I mean, how raw? It doesn't get much raw.
That
Guys
was
next to you are,
16-year-old me.
selling
Come
platinum
on.
and gold, at the
that would
cash
be
for
weird.
gold.
Oh, I like it. That
They're
would be
selling
better.
cell phones by getting banged
They're
out
like,
in the
"Do
middle
you
of it.
do on cell?"
Dude, I fucking love it. That
And
would be
she's
way
over there
cooler.
like, oh.
Yeah, she's like, that's
And there was a Hickory Farms right next to it.
Selling sausage.
Lots
Tight.
of sausage.
There's sausage
All
everywhere.
right, so
So yeah, I ended up having sex. I had sex with quite a few people from my 30 dates in 30 days. But one of them, we ended up having sex on a suspension bridge while my legs were suspended in the cables.
Wait,
so
There were
good.
also people walking underneath us. I forgot that part. So we were on the top part of it. I don't know how the fuck
they
we
see
even.
you?
Oh hell yeah, no.
Just-
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I was not quiet about it, and he was totally fine with it. I don't know how he didn't get arrested. Now.
Did you finish? Did both of you finish?
Yeah,
or did you-
totally. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like it was a normal.
No, like a normal
shit.
situation, except like just imagine like my legs are like up here and they're like wrapped in cables
you had
because
told
I had no
him
way
that
to
you
hold me up.
always wanted to do that, right? You were like,
No.
oh, okay.
Oh my god, we were just laying on the ground like hanging out, and I was like, "Hey, do you want to fuck on that bridge?" And he's like, "Okay." And so we fucked on the bridge. I mean, it was
Whoa.
pretty straightforward.
And
I
so
really
we
don't understand why people make this so complicated. What?
and so
No,
we
it's just
went.
like, damn.
Yeah, you just.
How'd you not get arrested?
Yes.
Like, I feel like if I just pulled my wiener out and started having sex with some girl in the middle, I'm getting arrested.
No, you're totally gonna. You're a white man, but yes, you're gonna get arrested. You're gonna get
okay.
arrested
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Basically, I'm not sure honestly how we didn't get arrested, but we didn't, and we left. Like, I have good instincts about things, so I was like, "Hey, we gotta go," and he was like, "Done," and we left, and it was like, "Okay, yes,
what?
ma'am."
Like that.
You
People
guys
kinda-
like, you done, dap it up, we're out.
people just do what I ask. It's weird. It just happens that way.
We'll
If
get there too.
Well, I think
Yeah, you know.
I think we should get there.
Let's go. Let's get right into it. Why
Why
not?
not? That
Sure.
brings us perfectly to today's theme, which is let's get freaky.
Let's get freaky.
Let's get freaky.
But the more we talk about this, the less freaky it might be. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I've been talking,
no, the more
been
I've talked to
talking
you about
this,
it, yeah, it's not
reading
that-
into it, and
I'm understanding it now.
Yeah, it doesn't-
It's gone from a fascination to an understanding.
I'm so glad.
It went from me to whoa. I don't like that's
like,
all it
I
means to me
get
is
it.
dark and deep to whoa. Now I'm starting to understand why it's deeper than that. You know what I mean?
makes a lot of
It
sense
makes
when
so
you-
much more
it
sense now.
does.
So come with us, guys, down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we're going.
What is the kink world? Give us the nomenclature. We want to develop in our audience to develop the proper nomenclature for approaching people that are part of what they might refer to as like BDSM.
Okay, right. So BDSM is still used,
Sure.
but kink is more appropriate. Saying like, okay, like the kink world, like that's way more appropriate than saying BDSM, because BDSM is bondage and sadomasochism, which is a very specific part of kink. So if you're talking about the broader sense, then kink is a better word.
Got
that
it,
includes that includes fetishes, and BDSM is
Just a part of kink.
right. Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
more of a specific
part,
about
right.
it, whereas kink kind of covers all manner of ills, if you will.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Can you give us like the nomenclature for like what you know?
Like, what is your title?
Yeah, your title. People you
In
deal
the
with.
kink world.
Sure. I would be known as a dom, which most people would see as a dominatrix, which is a little bit more dramatic. So
It's so dramatic.
it's a little dramatic.
Because now what I've known, but go
Right,
ahead.
yeah,
Go
exactly.
ahead.
See, you guys get it now. Yeah, so I would say a dom, which is DOM, like a capital DOM or capital DOMME. It depends on what type you are. Yeah.
Wait, what the DOMME?
Yes,
What's the difference?
DOMME. I'm so glad you asked. DOMME is a more when you're into financial domination. DOMME is more common.
Financial domination.
Yes.
What?
It's also referred to as FinDom as a short version of it. FINDOM.
You guys are all about shortening things.
We really are. Yeah, it's all about when you're tied up and gagged, it's important to have just tiny syllables you have to get out versus any sort
That
of long
makes sense.
conversation. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's harder. Right. It's
Yeah,
harder
yeah.
to say that.
Got
It's
it,
easier if
got
it's
it.
one syllable or a couple of letters to get out. It's much easier when you've got a gag in your mouth.
Because we're talking about complex things. You call it simple, but it's also like very complex, and so you gotta abbreviate it.
I guess
sounding like a
so.
technical paper.
That's actually a good point. I
Yeah.
hadn't
You
even
know,
thought
that
about
is
that.
good
You're
point.
right. Yeah.
what is BDSM, bondage, and sadomasochism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bondage, domination, sadomasochism.
And it sounds like the beginning of a paper.
It
you
kind of
know?
does, actually.
Yeah.
You're like, what does that mean? It means
I feel like I should write a paper about this. Like,
Yeah.
why haven't I
You probably
not?
should. Yeah.
I should.
You definitely
seriously.
so abbreviations are necessary.
Yep.
So what's your specialty?
I specialize in dominating individuals. Notoriously, it's men. I've had women before, but it's not as easy for me personally.
Right.
There are plenty of people who dom females, which I think is great, but it's not necessarily my preference. I find that men are far more agreeable.
More. They consent, correct? They consent.
Yes, I mean consent is essential. You have
Yeah.
to have consent before anything. I mean, there's no conversation, there's no anything before consent.
So in the kink world, consent is everything.
It is
Correct.
absolutely
Yeah.
100%
And consent is also
sexy.
sexy.
Consent is sexy. I like
Consent
that, dude.
is
Yeah.
sexy.
The ring of that is good, and it's
Well,
also
think about
so
it.
true.
You're
It rings
trusting
true.
someone with your body. It's consent. It's hot because you. I mean, that's what sex is, right? You're trusting
It's
to have
true.
You're
sex with
also
someone.
trusting them to not disclose what you're about.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing. Like, don't judge me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That's
we're all,
true.
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
We're all here, right? Like we're all in this. We're both in this relationship, or
there
wherever.
is-
Whether you're at one of those clubs or you're in a private thing. Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like consent is everything.
It is.
I'm
it's,
here on my own volition.
right. It's
my
the
own
difference
terms.
between. I mean, for me personally, it's the difference between, walking through a bar and some random fucking guy grabs your fucking ass and thinks it's okay, versus someone who gets on their knees and begs you to beat the shit out of them. I mean, what would you rather have? For me, random guy grabbing my ass in a bar when I didn't say it was okay is not okay.
Could he still be the same guy that asks to have the shit beat out of him?
99% of the time he is. And I'd be happy to beat the shit out of that guy who grabs
Yeah.
my ass in a bar.
Whoa.
More than happy.
Give you what you really want. You think what you want to do is grab my
This
ass in a
girl's
bar
ass.
as I'm
But let
walking
me
by.
really show you what you want.
You
Let
want.
me
You
help
want me
you.
to kick the fucking shit out
Yeah,
of you.
let me help you
and
punch
show
you in
you.
the face.
Exactly.
I'm happy to do that.
So a lot of what you do, it's about control, right? Or relinquishing a level of control.
Yeah, it's funny because it is, but it isn't.
Uh-huh.
It's about, okay, like, for example, Tyler, why is it that you put your phone down when I asked you to?
To be honest, out of respect.
Exactly.
I just just out of respect. To be honest with you.
No, and that's it. In a lot of ways, it's not about control. It's about respect. You want to do something for that person. You wanted me to know that you respected me.
Yeah. I wanted to let you know that I'm listening, and I'm. Yeah, I
Right.
got you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it made you maybe not uncomfortable,
Your
but
subs are thinking that same thing.
But you caught-
You want them to let you know that they're listening to you.
Yeah, they need to know that. Here's the thing. When I asked you to put your phone down, how did you feel about it?
I didn't even think twice, honestly.
Exactly. That's the point. You
Okay.
didn't think twice about it because it was the right thing to do, and you knew that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that's my point.
Yeah.
So if my dom tells me to take off all my clothes, take my ass down to the parking deck, beat my dick, butt ass naked in my car while on the clock,
Then
That's-
you should do it.
that's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Damn.
And here's the
And
thing.
I won't question it.
Right. And here's the thing. When you do that, if it makes me happy, why wouldn't you want to do it?
Oh, wow. It doesn't matter what I do, what you want me to do. If it
Nope.
makes you happy, I'll do it.
Can we
And-
just
Exactly.
preface this by saying that Kaia told Tyler before this episode that he was a sub?
I was, yeah. Hey, but I'm gonna be honest.
100%.
We haven't really gotten into it, Dave, but
This is
it
where we're
makes
getting
sense.
into it now.
It makes sense.
Yeah, you-
She knew exactly.
Hey, but
I
she
had
did
no
say one
idea
other
where
thing,
that was
Dave.
going,
She did say
dude.
being a sub is sexy. Okay, mother.
It is sexy.
It's fucking sexy.
Are you kidding me? Like, it's the sexiest
Even
thing
when I'm
ever.
a submissive, I'm sexy. Okay.
Tyler.
It's a two-way street.
Tyler.
Got you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my god.
David is finding this so entertaining.
So,
It is sexy, Tyler. Very much so.
I mean,
it's super sexy.
I think it's cool
Can I
that she
just
thinks
add
it's
to
sexy
it?
because I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
It's just like natural. I'm not
That's
doing-
what did I tell you before David came in earlier? I was like, you're a natural sub. It's who you are.
Oh man.
It's the sexiest thing in the world.
But yet I've been playing sports my whole life.
Okay.
And
Settle down.
okay.
Thank you. Listen,
I just got really excited.
it's
about
okay. You can play all the sports you want and be as important as you want to be. It doesn't matter.
That. Oh, Daisy, you read that? Yo, so what is it?
This is what it's like.
This
It's
is-
so good and rich. It's like fucking chocolate cake, dude. It's so good.
Chocolate
You're like,
cake?
yes.
Of all the
Delicious
things,
chocolate.
it's really
So
good
easy.
chocolate. I mean, chocolate
Cake
very
is amazing.
fantastic.
Come on now.
Like you know,
Tyler, can
angel
I
food
steal
cake.
one of these?
It's just what
I'm
you
so sorry.
need.
These are delicious.
So,
Thank you.
If it makes you happy, I'll do it.
I know you will. I have zero doubt of
talk
that.
about male doms a little bit.
Yeah, wait, or there are male doms, right?
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of male doms. Unfortunately, in my experience, so I've been in the kink world for 10, 11 years now. It's been a long time. Oh, yeah. They are most of the time, not always. I will say that. I will preface that with it is not all of them, but a lot of them are just looking for a way to abuse women. And sad.
Are
but
they
it's true.
violent?
Some of them, yeah. I've
they
heard
use
Are they
as an
verbally
outlet?
and physically violent?
Absolutely.
Even if they've been told like,
I've heard of plenty. I mean,
Oh,
again,
man.
there are plenty of doms who are male who are not like that, and I don't want to paint that brush and say that all of them are that way, but
right,
there are just so many that are, which is sad.
that's
There
too
are.
bad.
There just really are. There are a lot of men who think that the kink world is a way to hide what they are, which is just abusers.
Is there a good amount of women subs?
Oh yeah, God, and there's quite a few.
Wow.
And a lot of them want like really, aggressive men. And I think part of it is that a lot of women are, I mean, I absolutely support anybody who wants to be a submissive in any way, shape, or form because I think it's wonderful. Like, I think it's the most wonderful thing in the world. Being able to give yourself over to another human being and trust implicitly that they're going to take care of you in every way is something that most people can't do. Most people will never do that. And I think it's beautiful. I truly do. But there are a lot of women who unfortunately get into the kink scene and into the submissive scene who are abused already. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see
Yeah.
that. And I can see how that could end up negative for them as opposed to positive, right?
Correct. Yeah. There are some women who look at it as an opportunity to sort of work through whatever's going on with them.
Okay.
Which I think is amazing. And I absolutely love that. And I have had women in my life like that, which has been fantastic. But unfortunately, there's a lot of women who aren't. And there are also a lot of male doms who want to take advantage of people. It's shitty. It's like anything else in life. You're going to get the good and the bad.
Right. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
This
that-
is just a lot of it.
now with being in where you are in life right now, and it's
Right.
been, you said 11 years through the
It has.
kink scene.
Right.
Have you ever had subs that are in powerful positions?
Absolutely. Yeah. Most of my subs are in powerful positions, quite frankly. It's less common for me not to have ones that are powerful.
Is it because of the area that we live in, or is it because of what because of the kink scene itself? It draws. There's a correlation there. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
No, it's a good question. I think that
Powerful position. Yeah, the correlation.
Yeah.
Powerful positions in the kink scene. Like, is
Right.
there? Do you think?
power, money, influence.
So let me ask you both a question.
Sure.
If you spent every day of your life doing what everybody told you to do, being the person who was going to give everyone else what they needed, what would you want in your private life?
The opposite.
Correct.
I would want the antipodes of it.
Exactly. So you would want to be in a situation where you were the one who was in control. Now, there are some people who, I mean, like in my life, for example, I'm relatively in control of what I'm doing and how I do it. But I also really, truly enjoy that. There's a difference between a dom who wakes up every morning and they get out of bed and they're a dom. That's what I am. There's something called a top, which is a person who is dominant in bed and nowhere else. It's not me. Subs are the same thing. They're the subs, the natural subs who wake up in the morning and that's what they are. And they're the ones who can bottom, which means they can do it in bed and nowhere else. It's not me either. I wake up in the morning, I eat my breakfast, I take my run, I take care of whoever I need to take care of, and I am a dom every second of that day.
It never changes. It's always
You're
constant.
dumb 24/7.
That is
Correct.
your true nature.
Got it.
Absolutely. I am the one who will...
And how about that? How did you get in? Or we already went over the...
Well, we didn't get quite into how she was led
Not
into.
really.
Yeah, how
We-
were you led into this?
Into this.
I was dating somebody who randomly one night when I was hanging out with a friend and she had gone to sleep early and I was on the phone with him and we were dating very casually and he decided to confess to me that he really loved reading erotica that had to deal with men who were submissive, extremely so. And I thought, shit, I could do that. That's easy. And so I sat on the phone with him and basically told him what to do and how I wanted him to do it. And it felt like breathing.
Like second nature.
Absolutely. Even more so. In fact, it felt like first nature,
Whoa.
I would say, if I was going to give you a really good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this domination, or these characteristics that you carry into the kink world, were embedded, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
From way back.
Yeah, I think that you're sort of born this way or you're not.
Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of like being gay or being straight or
Gotcha.
being,
Yeah.
you know, in an open
Yeah.
relationship or
Which
not.
is what
Or
we're finding out more and more, like this
Yeah.
type of stuff.
Powerful people getting like
So
whoa.
you gave him what he wanted, exactly what he wanted over the
Absolutely,
phone. And then
yeah.
after that opened a whole new door for you. Like
Totally.
before, you were in a spatially unaware room, spatially darkness.
Yeah,
and you
right.
you were fine with that.
I was
And then
blind.
a door opened, and you were like, "Oh, what is this?" And you went through that door and realized
Yeah.
there was a galaxy on the other side, and you were like, "Oh, this was here the whole time."
That's a pretty valid. Yeah, it's a pretty valid explanation of it.
Dave's good with those
No,
analogies.
He's very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, very well done.
So, can you talk about after you opened that door,
Yeah, sure.
and that led us to where we are now?
Absolutely. When that happened, it was years and years ago, and I thought, well, shit, I could do this more often. This is great.
Yeah.
I mean, why the fuck not?
This feels good.
Let's fucking do it,
Let's
dude.
fucking do it.
How often do you find something where you're like, I want to rev this thing full. I want to
Right.
turn this
Full
thing.
throttle.
I haven't even turned this thing
Exactly.
on yet, but I already feel it.
I just want
Yeah.
to punch it all the way to 100 and not think twice about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always have like driving fast, but yeah. So I basically just sort of went with it after that. I thought about doing it professionally at that time, and I think that it was years ago, and it was a different scene then. It was a different everything then, and unfortunately, I went from going, oh wow, this is exciting. What is this? To, oh god, here's all the darkest, dirtiest shit that's ever happened in the entire kink world ever. Which is all very much in the greater DMV area for sure. There's a lot of it, and there's a lot of it all over the country. But
it's especially concentrated here.
it is very concentrated here because
Get out.
oh god, you
That
have
is
no way.
That is
really-
something completely unspoken here.
Unspoken.
It is.
Do not.
It is.
Unspoken.
It
There's
absolutely
Dave,
is.
the swingers and the
Oh, fuck the swingers.
threesomes, but not the kink world, not the dom world, right?
Right, yeah.
Nobody-
The swinging part is so accepted. You know, people are so fine with it. It's like whatever, you're gonna, hard swap, soft swap, whatever the hell with whoever you want to. I don't even fucking know. There's so many
we're
rules.
talking about completely different.
Yeah, completely
Animal kingdoms over here.
different.
No,
yes.
you're talking two different realms.
Yeah. But
One is right. But in this area, there is such a huge underground kink scene, and especially 10 or 15 years ago, it was even more so. I mean, it's a little bit more centralized now to individual DOMs than it used to be, but there was a time when it was more specific locations you could go to have those sort of services rendered, if you will. Yeah, it was very different.
Now, how do you locate one of these?
I mean, the internet exists for a reason. It doesn't take
Well, no, I know
long.
the internet, but where, like, if somebody wanted, like,
You just type it into Google.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's that easy, huh? Is
It's
what you're
that
saying.
easy.
there's some
Yeah.
well-known clubs down.
We don't
in
have to
DC,
tell
right?
you. Don't have to tell you.
No,
Is
yeah.
it easy to find you?
I mean, it's not hard to find me. I mean, I'm out there. Like, if you want Mistress Kaia, like, you just go to mistresskaia.com and there I am. I mean, it's not hard. You could look it up right now.
There it is.
That's who she is.
I mean, it's that simple. It's not hard to find what you want. If you look up dominatrix in the DC area or even just in the country, you're going to get thousands of results. Truly.
So
yeah.
You're so comfortable with talking about your first nature, as you call it, and like who you are and what you do.
Definitely.
But you also recognize that you have a lot of like responsibility and stuff like that.
Correct.
So, but that doesn't apply to everyone because you're very good at what you do.
Thank you.
And
I try.
This is true.
I want to talk a little bit about something that you told me recently about an interest.
Yes.
An interest in your lifestyle, conducted by a psychologist.
Yes. Yeah, I did. I had a conversation with someone who was from what we like to call a 3-letter organization in the area.
Got it.
That is the term that is used most often. And she wanted to discuss with me my particular kink. And she wanted to discuss with me the fact that I have not been in a monogamous relationship in a very long time. And I apparently a rarity in that way, but really and truly I'm not, because a lot of people, unfortunately, especially women, are unjustly getting denied clearances with the government because of the fact that they are the way that they are, which is like me.
Which is weird because you just told us that the reason, well, actually you didn't tell us. The reason she was conducting this case study is why were they? I mean, why even embark upon this research in the first place?
Right. So the biggest reason was actually she contacted me because of the fact that there are a lot of women who are being denied clearances because of what they are.
Okay.
Because of what they're doing, because of basically the same stuff I'm doing.
Like sexual orientation, basically.
Right. I mean, really and truly, yeah. I mean, that's the thing I think that's very hard for people to understand is that a kink or a fetish, if you want to call it that, or a preference or what have you.
It's part of you.
It is. It's no different than being gay or straight or bi or pan or sapio or the other 87,000 options that there happen to be. Kink is part of that. And I think that a lot of people forget that and they sort of circumvent it for their own means. And that's unfortunate.
So it's frowned upon.
It is
extremely
absolutely
frowned upon.
It is definitely a situation where there is a group of an older generation who do not understand accepting who they are as
that's what I wanted to get
as a people. Yeah.
There seems to be, because if there's women involved in it and they're being denied security clearances, I feel like wherever there's women, there's also got to be men.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
And probably quite a few of them. Maybe for as many women as there are being denied security clearances because of their predilections or what they enjoy in their off time. There are men also.
Thank you.
That enjoy it too.
Yes, there are. So it's funny that you say that.
But
so,
they're not getting.
They don't get denied.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Certainly not with any level of same frequency that women do. I mean, I'm sure that there are men who do get denied because of their sexual predilections, but I think that women are unjustly held to a different standard for sure. Very different standard. I mean, I think, and I definitely seem to see that.
That's fucked up. Like,
well, sure, because the research,
that's just not
the research, because we know that the kink scene has both in probably a commensurate amount from both sexes. And so for the research to be about, hey, all these women are getting denied. Yeah. Denied in this, like, there's men that those guys are there too.
Yeah.
And they want to figure out like why why
there's a gap.
Yeah,
why is the disparaging happening between the sexes when it comes to that? And part of it is that it is such an older generation of people who are in charge of these things, and it's usually a bunch of, unfortunately, white older men who are the more, baby boomer generation, and they
traditional, old school.
Totally, they come from a 50s, early 60s kind of mentality, and this is how things have to be. They see people like myself as a security risk when, if anything, I'm the least security risk you could ever have because I'm so open about what I am and who I am.
Exactly. You're not lying. You're not being.
You're not keeping
No.
secrets.
Yep.
There's
You're
nothing.
not able to be blackmailed.
Absolutely not. No. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
you're only able
yeah.
to be blackmailed if what you're doing is taboo.
Yeah.
If what you're doing is something you are ashamed of, in whatever way, shape, or form
I
that
guess,
you
yeah,
are.
actually, yeah.
So taboo is one thing, but
You're right.
being truly
Because if
ashamed
you're
of something,
truly
Corrected.
passionate about something, you would never sell out.
you wouldn't exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you think about-
that speaks wonders.
And that's
Yeah,
the first thing
exactly.
you do when they say dig dirt, find what they're ashamed about,
Precisely.
that they're complicit in doing.
Exactly.
Whoa.
What is
Partaken.
it that hurts them the most? What is it that they are the most ashamed of? Because
or scared of.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
There are people who think that feet are amazing and they worship feet. That's not really taboo so much as it's just weird. But if you're ashamed of it, that's a
Uh-oh.
completely different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are someone who really loves buxom blondes who wander around in short shorts during the summertime, that's not taboo. But if you're ashamed of it, then it is. It's all about the shame that you feel
And
about
owning it. Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you actually love who you are and the choices that you make, then there's no shame you can have, and thus
Yeah.
no one can have any.
It's not. Yeah. You don't even second guess it.
Bravery is the truest form of freedom.
Wow.
No one can attack you if you're not afraid of anything.
Mm.
So, yeah.
So they did the study on you, or she asked you questions.
Correct. It was a study with quite a few people, but I
Yeah.
was one person who was interviewed about it. And I hope that it helped.
Yeah,
hope
I
that it
couldn't
made
think of
some
anyone
difference.
better to talk to about
Seriously.
that type of thing. Like, you
I
want to
mean,
talk
you.
to
They hit a gold.
you want to talk about the caliber
Gold
I
mine,
bring,
dude.
and also do this. Love it. That's
Thank you.
really cool to me, and that speaks to me.
Well,
Yeah, out
thank
of
you.
all this powerful stuff you're doing and all this really impressive, that's probably one of the most important. Like
Thank
impressive.
you.
Yeah.
I was incredibly lucky, and I was so happy to do it, to shine a light on the women who do the kind of things that I do.
That's
and
really
for the
impressive.
Thank you. And it's just, I want people to understand that just because you make a choice like this, it doesn't mean it's some horrible thing about you. You know, I
fuck
don't.
that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Exactly. Fuck that. Indeed. Like, it's stupid. I don't want anybody to feel like this is bad. 'Cause
No.
it's not.
It's really like, yeah, it's a
It's-
little. If you're raised, just how like most of the population is
Mainstream, if you will.
mainstream.
Sure.
It's not that crazy to if you actually think about
And that's
it and
what
listen.
that's what I'm
not-
saying. Like, you think that women are the only ones that don't have these non-mainstream like
fantasies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's bullshit, dude. These niche
Totally.
markets are way bigger than anyone ever imagined.
Your mind
dude.
can't even not.
If there's a fucking niche market for
Niche.
dirty niche, oh, is that
Niche market.
Niche market.
That's how you
Niche.
pronounce it. Niche.
Oh, I might have to keep saying niche though.
I'm gonna be honest. I do like the word niche.
I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know it's niche is how
Yeah.
it's pronounced. It's French.
Niche.
Yeah, French.
Yes.
But
From France.
if there's a market for panties from
Oh,
a
quite a
dispenser
bit.
from a
You have
vending
no
machine
idea.
in Japan.
People
like,
will buy
I can
panties
go-
from you in the United States. It's like nothing.
But you can get them from a vending machine in Japan.
Yeah,
That's
but
what-
where do you think they come from?
from the U.S.
Most
would
of
go
the
straight
time.
to the source.
It's like $20 or $50 a pair. You just wear them around for a day, and then you send them to some guy in Japan, and he pays you $50.
Skidge, let's quit our goddamn jobs.
I'm about to.
You guys just need to wear more panties.
No,
That's
I'm
what
just gonna
we've
start
understood.
hustling other people's panties too.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, it's not hard.
Third
Put 'em on
party
my
hot-
dog.
Yeah.
Third
Oh my
party
God, dude.
pussy panty hustling.
You know, people that
That's
are buying
awesome.
panties though are like connoisseurs. They're like, this is bullshit.
They are. That's
They're
why
like,
exactly.
No.
This is why you got to get a horde of bitches to
Yep.
wear panties for you, and then you make it's sort of like a pimpdom, if you will, and then you just have lots of bitches wearing panties for you, and then you send them to Japan. Like that's how it works. Guys, think globally. Come on now, you're thinking too small. Think bigger.
Yeah, we're talking about wearing them
Hold on,
ourselves.
we're-
I need to recruit
Hold on.
like 2,000 women.
No,
and
no,
all
you gotta
give them panties.
Exactly. You got to get women.
Cotton
There you
thongs.
go. No,
Since we're
no,
talking,
come on
since
now.
we brought
Keep
up
it classy.
nomenclature, can you tell us about this thing I heard of sounding?
Sounding is something I found out about a few years ago. I mean, it's amazing to me how broad and vast the kink scene is because there's so much to it that you don't know. There's people who like to be trapped inside of coffins and locked inside and just enjoying
Covered in latex.
No, well, there's also ones who just want to be in coffins, but also there are people in latex. So there are people who want to be like basically vacuum sealed, like a quarter pounder with cheese inside of this latex Ziploc bag for people, basically.
Or they want to be financially dominated.
Oh, yes. And then there are the cash piggies, who are gentlemen who like to be drained of their money in order to please a financial dominatrix or a findom.
It's like, hey, I make so much money, but I'm not worth shit, and I need you to tell me I'm not worth shit. I make $250 million a year, but I'm not worth shit.
That's weird.
But also, my penis is very small, and tell me how small it is. That's a
Tell
big
me
one,
how
too.
small it is.
Hold up. They tell you to tell you how small it is?
Absolutely. They want
When
to
they're fully
know.
hard. They're like,
Yeah, they want to know how tiny and insignificant they are.
Even
in
if
any
it's not
conceivable
small?
way.
whoa.
Usually, it's pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They
From
know.
what I've seen.
Okay,
But
yeah,
usually they're pretty
So
tiny.
hold on. What is sounding?
Oh, sorry. Right. Sounding is something that I became familiar with a few years ago, where you take essentially a tuning fork, one half of a tuning fork, if you will. Right? So if you are in any way squeamish, this is the moment to pause or fast forward. This is the time to move past this exact moment, because you will probably feel it in your balls. So, if you have a penis that is very hard and you want to put this one half of a sounding fork, and I say that not knowing exactly what it's called because it's not something I'm necessarily into, you take this tuning fork and insert it into the penis via the urethra. Right. When you do this, that's bad enough, but then someone
How far does it go down?
all the way.
Oh,
All the way.
God.
And then the really
So
great
visceral.
It
That
is.
Stop.
It is. The
is
greatest
vivid, dude.
The greatest part of it is that then you flick it.
You flick the penis.
No, you flick
The rod.
Yeah.
You actually flick the rod
The
that's
tuning
out.
rod?
Correct. Yes.
What in the living
So
hell,
there's the
dude?
vibration and the sound and everything, and it is.
But we just discussed this. I
Yeah.
can't even say that's fucked up. Because that's what he likes.
It's just what he
or
likes.
they like.
They're-
What the
whoever
fuck,
that
dude?
person is, whoever that gentleman is who
Yeah.
enjoys
and you
that.
know what? I can't like.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's
I don't
not
want a sounding
name,
rod in my
so
dick.
It's not. It's more than just one dude.
Correct. There's
Oh,
quite a few of them,
man,
yes.
dude.
And again, I've never done this personally. It's not because I am a little concerned about the well-being of the person involved. I'd have to do more research on it. But
Whoa.
yeah, that is something that people are really into. And yeah.
There's another thing that people are into that maybe you did.
Maybe.
Bloodletting.
Oh, come on.
Tyler's a sweet boy.
I'm
with
good.
Tyler's
I'm good.
squeamish.
Weak
I'm not squeamish, though.
stomach.
I really.
You're
got a weak
recoiling right
stomach.
now.
Okay,
Look
the
at
thing
you.
with it's just blood. Blood's kind of.
What's your deal with blood?
I mean, I just took care of your leg, but
Yes, and thank you, by the way. And that didn't bother you at all. What's
By the way,
deal?
guys, yeah.
Kaia decided to take a fall before I got in here.
I took a spill.
Dude.
that was kind of funny, dude. I saw
was
you, and
amazing.
your
It was-
umbrella
yeah,
just
it's
kind
just
of
funny.
it went down 3 feet, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, what happened to
Yeah,
her?"
you know, because I decided it would be a good idea to make a really
It was
super grand
pouring-
entrance.
Yeah.
Pouring
Yeah.
rain. You know, walking with the
pouring.
umbrella. You're wearing this
Yep.
bright pink dress.
Well, it's Cinco de Mayo. You know,
yeah.
I gotta celebrate.
Amen.
So appropriate.
And the heels that I was wearing were a mistake.
And you brought the tequila.
I
you
did.
Did you realize that it was Cinco de Mayo before we did?
First of all, yes, and second of all, I think everyone should bring you some form of alcohol when they come here. I
that
think
the new rule?
That's a rule. No,
new rule.
and listen, if
Cool
anybody's
is the
going to
rule.
make the rule, it's going to be me. So, it's kind of what I do. So,
We just got
So,
a
that's
core
the
value
rule.
just put in.
Sorry.
You heard it. Here
you're
now.
welcome. The rule is
We
that
used
if
to provide booze, but now
no,
it's
that's
on you.
silly. No,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to bring it here. Every person who comes here, it's like an offering. It's like a little tribute to you guys, and they
Cool.
should.
We've had a couple other
We
little
should.
tributes
Sorry,
and
I mean
stuff.
it's not. It's there now.
Yeah, it's
It
her
is.
rule.
I'm sorry.
change
It's
it now.
my
Yeah,
rule.
like, you guys heard
Sorry,
her.
guys.
She's the
Can't do
nexus
it.
of the government.
Sorry.
All,
Yeah.
you know,
I just-
all foreign policy.
Oh my
as
God,
well
please.
as policy here at
She's
Foxburger
the-
Laboratory.
yeah,
You heard
she
it
is
here
the,
first.
Okay, I'll take that. Yeah,
You have all the branches of power. Yeah.
I like
basically.
it.
Queen, we will bring
Yes.
those bottles.
The
Yeah.
queen.
Listen, for all of you fuckers who are out there and think that it is not acceptable to bring an alcoholic beverage as a sweet little, it's a little hostess gift. Like,
Yeah,
were people
yeah.
not raised right? That's
Well-
how you do it.
All right.
Bring yourself
So I guess
something
we'll do
nice.
it. Bloodletting. Go ahead.
So yeah,
Get in there.
Because that's a good sequitur, non sequitur for that matter. But yeah, sure. A bloodletting is exactly what it sounds like. It's pretty straightforward. Letting your blood out.
and you pay and someone will
Pay you to cut. They cut
Sure.
themselves.
I mean, yeah.
Have you cut
So-
people?
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you've done some bloodletting.
I
in your
have.
day.
Now, I will say that was something that happened with a whole lot of conversation beforehand.
Oh
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
paperwork?
Yes. A lot of paperwork. I insisted on having information about the individual before anything happened because there's bloodborne pathogens and I don't want to be a part of that if I can avoid it.
Plus, you're opening them up and you're letting them bleed.
Right.
So it's like, what if,
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, Tyler, you're fine.
Training. Have you heard of training?
God, why are you? Whoa! Why
Tyler,
are you being?
you were so squeamish.
God, he's
dude.
being
I
such a
didn't see
bitch
this
about
coming.
this.
I don't
Like,
like
seriously.
blood, dude. But
Okay.
it doesn't really like my own
But
blood.
you literally just
Tyler,
patched up
you
her wound. There was blood
I have a
in
hole in my
everything.
leg,
I don't
and
really
you
know how to
patched it up like
explain
a
that.
fucking
Yeah,
Vietnam
we're just
nurse.
talking about blood. Are you
Seriously.
thinking about getting your cock chopped off?
Come on, man. Like,
Oh my God,
Tyler's
Tyler!
literally itching himself like he's working for a fix, like he's smoked rocks on the break.
He's so
Tyler,
itchy right now. Are you okay?
Easy, Skidge.
I'm fine, dude.
Tyler, you are literally like jumping in your seat right now.
I'm not.
Okay,
It's fine. I
can
get
feel
it.
Feel the
He
bugs
is.
in my veins.
Because look, I watch fucked up movies. I watch all
Sure,
kinds.
but we can't even say the word blood without you being like,
No,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no.
getting a little
But
irritated
this is my
about
this
it.
is my thing. I'm getting really vivid pictures.
sure.
Oh, well, that's
I'm
you
like,
have a
fair.
sick mind.
Wait,
and you're a
so
sub.
I have
here's
a
what-
really
Didn't
vivid
realize.
mind.
Okay, give me
dude.
your
I have a
hand.
really vivid
So
mind.
here's
Give
what
it
would
to her.
happen.
Really vivid
So-
mind over here.
So this is what happened. I'm going to explain this. So I'm holding
Oh man.
I'm holding
So
Tyler's arm.
she's rolling up his sleeve. He's wearing a long sleeve Vans white
Okay,
shirt.
all right.
Um,
You're okay.
her
I'm
palm,
fine, dude.
You're
Her
fine.
palm is on his wrist.
You're fine.
Kind of petting him a little bit.
You're okay.
What would
So imagine right now. So this is your forearm, right? Like,
Imagine with us, everyone.
imagine everyone take a journey with us. So this is your forearm right now.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel safe right now?
Not really. Because, like I said, I have a vivid mind. Dude.
Tyler.
All right.
Do you trust me?
I mean, not really. Well, I mean, you don't have anything
Tyler.
to hurt me, so no, I don't.
Tyler.
I do trust you. Yeah. I
I'm
trust
right here.
you. Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you. Okay. So if you were in a situation where you wanted somebody to do something that was a little bit different, perhaps,
Uh-huh.
would you trust me to do that? Tyler?
From talking to you and knowing everything, yeah,
Thank you.
I would.
I really appreciate that. So the idea is that at this point, I would take a razor blade and cut right here on your forearm.
She's doing horizontal cuts with her well
deep?
manicured hand
How deep?
across his
How deep does
across
it
his
go?
arm, his bare arm.
As deep as you're okay with. As deep as you feel is all right.
As deep as you paid for.
Oh, dude, that's
As deep as you
fucked up.
paid for. So if you start bleeding, imagine for a moment, Tyler,
Mhm.
that was what you wanted and that made you happy.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
See,
Tyler,
it's
there's
okay.
nothing else you wanted more in the world than somebody
Somebody to fucking
cut your ass.
slit my
Exactly.
fucking wrist.
No,
dude.
I didn't slit
I
your
know.
wrist. I
I'm just.
slit your
I'm
forearm.
just exaggerating. I'm
There's
just
no
exaggerating.
vein, Tyler. Don't be so
There's
dramatic,
nothing. Listen,
okay?
okay?
there's nothing better in this life than getting my fucking arm slit
Just like there's nothing better than having you buy shoes in New York
Okay.
City
and then
Yeah.
step on my
fucking
nuts, dude.
Step on my nuts.
Let me ask you, Tyler, right now, do you feel safe? Like everything's
Yeah,
okay?
like I said, because I know you.
Why? Exactly.
Oh my god.
That's all it is.
Consensual.
Right. See, it's okay.
Okay.
My hands are
Kaya,
sweating a little bit.
It's okay.
Can you
Shh.
tell
My
us
hands are
about
sweating.
training?
Breathe. Yes.
I know you've been down with the training too.
I'm down with the sickness.
She's one with the training.
Oh God. So I training is something that happens if someone is really, really excited. For me personally, I know doms who start training people from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really so much my thing. I like to make sure that, again, consent is sexy. So I want to make sure that everybody's on board with it. I have trained people it's taken months,
How many months?
like 7 or 8.
And to
6,
do
7 or 8. So it was a while. It was
7 or 8
it was
months
more
to
than half a year. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
To lay in front of me and come on command
Without touching themselves?
without touching anything.
verbal command.
All verbal.
Whoa.
Like Pavlov's dog.
Okay.
Completely conditioned.
Completely conditioned.
You say come slave or come sub.
or come whoever, yes.
Yeah.
Whatever the preference
And
is.
be like, ugh!
And they do.
Is it like excuse my the cum,
Please.
is the cum shot?
It's no different than it would be any other.
Wow.
one. Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't like dribble out.
No.
That's powerful. I mean,
Right.
that's mind control.
It is.
That is
totally.
mind control.
And that's why I'm.
That's
it's like
me
brainwashing.
No, it
yeah,
totally is.
brainwashing.
Yeah.
I look
Yeah.
at the TV screen. There's a certain symbol playing, and then
Yeah.
suddenly I jizz my pants.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
That's
Pretty much.
exactly what that is. That's
Somebody
mind
says
control.
Basically, yes.
octopus, and then
And-
I'm like,
Octopussy.
You're literally you're like this. You're in the middle of dinner or something. Somebody's like Finding Nemo, and you're like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
get up
Oh,
from
you-
the table,
And you're like,
wet pants, sticky. They're like, "Did you have Cinnabon?" I'm like, "No, I
Yeah.
just came my pants."
'Cause-
Excuse me,
'cause
I've been trained by
'cause
my
I have been-
dominatrix.
I've been brainwashed.
yeah, 'cause- yeah.
So now I can come in my pants whenever I want.
You two are fucking sick. Do
We
you know
can't
that?
even
Seriously.
get Siri to work well, but I can come on command
Yeah.
if I really want
I
to
can't-
devote my
I can't-
psychological
yeah. Yeah,
well-being.
totally.
I can't figure out how to take a
Absolutely.
Snapchat, but I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one can figure
Somebody
out how
can say
Tinder works,
something
but
But
you
somebody,
think-
I'm
yeah,
literally standing in a
exactly.
grocery store and I can come on my pants right on command.
Just
Only
like
if someone
trigger
tells
a
you to.
physical response like
Yeah.
that. Like, remember how you were just screaming about blood? What if every time,
Somebody says blood, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ah!"
yeah.
Do you know how easy that
Okay,
would
first
be,
off,
by the way?
nobody makes that
Or
noise
if
when
I
they're
said
coming.
blood and
or
your
do
nose
they?
started bleeding.
I just went. "Ah!" No, I don't make that noise.
I assume you don't have sex with lots of dudes. is what
No,
I'm
I
thinking.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. So you probably
Or
should
never.
make statements about that then if you don't know.
So what you're saying
Well, no,
is
I
that
wasn't making a statement. I said I actually.
Tyler,
I did
I'm
make a
giving you
statement.
shit.
Yeah, I did make a
Thank you.
statement.
Okay.
She's brainwashing me, Dave.
I know, dude.
Do you know how easy it would be to do?
Oh,
I'm not going to do that, by the way,
Training.
but I'm saying it's easy to do.
Training is to go on verbal command.
yeah.
Sure. Totally.
What about some, like, you ever, like, just kick the shit out of someone to make them come?
Yeah, sure.
Like,
Are you-
punch
like-
them in the mouth?
Are you
Yeah,
shitting? Like
absolutely.
you literally beat the shit out of
No,
somebody?
I've literally beat somebody up. Yeah, certainly. More than a few times.
Like
Oh,
broke
yeah.
skin? Like
I
beat the
mean,
shit out of them?
No, you get really good at not leaving a mark.
Oh, knowing what to
because you
hit.
have
Okay.
to know exactly how to hit somebody. Like, for example, come here.
Oh God.
Come here. Oh my.
Dave,
How
I
are
trust
you
I
so
trust you.
emotional?
I trust you.
Babe, it's okay. All right, I'm moving my. Okay, so take your glasses off, please.
gonna
Thank you.
get punched
Take your
in the
hat
face.
off, please.
I'm about to get UFC.
You're not going to get UFC'd. I'm not going to hit you. So there's a spot between the top of your cheekbones and the bottom of your jaw. It's right there.
Yeah.
If I punch you right there in just the right way, and you have to take the top of my knuckles and put it right into there.
Oh yeah, you came in.
There you go. How does that feel?
Punch me.
Oh no,
No,
we're
no,
not
not
going to,
hard.
sweetie. We're not going to do that.
So it looks like Kaia was making straight, like, literally just punching you in the
Here,
jaw.
come here.
Okay.
Come here. All right.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to hit you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, relax.
Just if you made a solid... Oh.
It's like that.
She just
She
made
just, it
contact.
felt like she just moved my head.
Exactly. It's about hitting you in just the right
Yeah.
way.
I didn't,
So now, I didn't put a whole lot behind that,
Right.
Because I'm not going to actually punch you because you didn't ask me to, but it's a question of hitting just the right spot.
Yeah.
The top of my knuckles hit in. So what happens immediately when I hit you right in that soft spot?
Hit him right around his molars, right?
Right. So basically, what happens is that without thinking about it, his jaw releases. And so that space becomes very squishy, and you don't actually hit anything on the jaw.
So that's the spot you got to go for.
You got it.
Okay, so it
That's
doesn't
just one
turn
of the
into
spots.
like a
Yeah.
like
Yes,
a
indeed. Thank you.
draconian
Thank you.
interrogation. You know, Not some like True Detective shit.
Right now, now here's the thing. Obviously, I'm in decent shape, and I've punched plenty of things that are inanimate in my life. So if I wanted to hurt you, obviously that could be done as well. But I'm not going to do that because you didn't want that.
But people
Absolutely.
have asked asked you to beat the shit out of you. Beat the shit out of them.
Absolutely, I have cold clocked plenty of people in my life.
Guys, just straight in the face.
Yeah, and I've never been in a fight, so.
That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
It's different.
It's just, but here's the thing. Were you concerned at all when I just put you in that position? You didn't seem like you were, right? Because it's all about the trust that you have with somebody.
Yeah.
And really, that's what it is. So it's not even so much about control as it is about trust and respect. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that either, is that you end up in these situations. Think about the significant other you've had for 10 or 15 years or whatever it is. Like, you don't necessarily respect them. You're just there.
It's all about respect, guys.
Dude, what in the hell? What an episode.
So, before we go,
Where
Kaia.
are we going?
Huh?
Are we going somewhere?
Before we run this to the end.
Yes. Why are you fondling your tits? What are you doing right now?
Don't worry about those titties.
Tyler is fondling himself.
We asked you to put forth
Yes.
a couple of questions to your sub.
I did, yes.
And I was just wondering if we could kind of go over that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So let me just reiterate that we asked for Kaia to relay two interesting questions to one of her submissives, also known as a sub. And Dave, you want to start with, or do you want to just get right into it? You want to do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the questions.
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
you ask the
So
question.
Go right ahead.
we asked her to ask her sub a couple things we were just interested about, and what we wanted to know was what his favorite main squeeze kink is, the one that really gets him. And our second question is having this kink fulfilled like the very best thing in life, and like all other experiences pale in comparison. I'm talking it's better than your fucking kids.
Yeah, your wedding day. Your fucking wedding day.
It's
You're
better
fucking
than selling your
lottery.
company for $100 million. It's better than fucking
Right.
ice cream cake on a hot August day.
It's better than
yeah.
winning, scoring a winning touchdown for the championship.
You guys
better
are
than-
super visual on this. I like it.
It outweighs all things, and it
doesn't
just
matter. Yeah,
doesn't
this
even
is,
matter.
This is heaven. Like this is, it's everything. No, it's like
That's
literally
what we
everything.
wanted to know.
You guys
What
are
is it?
so funny.
Yeah. What was his response there, my dear?
So his response, and I'm reading this verbatim. For me, I would have to say either face sitting, smothering, ball busting, or any kind of worship, foot worship, ass worship, all of that. For me, it absolutely brings me more pleasure than ordinary sexual experiences by far. For me, pleasing my dom, no matter how extreme the task, is the most fulfilling and euphoric feeling I can have.
Wow.
Yo.
There it is.
There it
That's-
is.
There it
He's a
is.
sweet boy.
He's a sweet boy.
He's a
sweet sub.
boy. He is. He's the best.
You're like out with your friends. You guys are fucking partying your ass through London. You're having the best time. They're like, isn't this the best time? And you're like, it's pretty fun, but honestly, I'd rather be just having the shit beat out of me by
I
my
mean,
dog."
yeah.
No. You're like you're in a nightclub in like Ibiza, Spain, and with your boys, and you're killing it, and you're like, this is it, dude. And then somebody asks you, and you're like, no, I'd rather be getting my balls smashed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's the ultimate kind of control you can have over your life.
Wow.
I mean, if you're in Ibiza, Spain, and you are dancing around, that's great and all well and good. But if somebody could take a really fantastic pair of 6-inch patent red leather Steve Madden stilettos and stomp them into your balls because you asked her to, isn't that better?
Because that's what you really want, guys.
Deep down.
You just went and touched her ass in a bar. Bad move.
Bad move. You opened up Pandora's box.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
You just got
Bad
called
move.
out.
Truly do not touch my ass in a bar unless I said it's okay. It's not a
Consent
good idea. Consent
is everything.
is
Consent is
everything.
sexy.
Consent is sexy. Absolutely. Both those things, people need to know that.
Kaia, thank you so much for joining us.
You are
Seriously.
so welcome, guys.
That was awesome.
guys
Kaia,
are
did
the
you have a good
fucking
time?
tits, man. Absolutely. You guys are the tits. I am all about sort of smashing the patriarchy and the idea that women cannot be in power. So I'm 100%
Hell yeah.
supportive of this. And you guys are too, which I love. Love it. It was totally worth the pain of my horrific injury that I had
no, that
getting
was-
Yeah, that was
here.
frightening, dude.
You're gonna have to lose that leg.
I am. I'm going to have to chop
All
it off
for
at the knee.
intangible adventures.
It's totally worth
Bang.
it. Done. Totally worth it.
Let's do it.
Sacrifice well paid.
All right, Dave.
Skidgy. Well, I guess we're wrapping it up and putting a bow on it.
All right, everybody. Stay frosty, stay sharp, but most importantly, stay intangible.
This show was written and produced by David McFarland and Tyler Skidge. Special thanks to our editor, Charlie Ross. If you want to stay in the loop and not miss out on when the next adventure is happening, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Intangible Adventures, and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you have an extra moment, please rate us and review us. We would love to hear your feedback about what you think about our show. You can also email us directly at secretrecipe@intangibleadventures.com. As always, thank you for joining us on our latest Intangible Adventures, and we'll see you guys next time.